feel like I'm pimping the Ripple brand today. Ripple hat, Ripple shirt, Ripple underwear? No, not really. I don't have Ripple branded underwear, although I am thinking about becoming an underwear mogul. You can find all of these brands at ripplecentral.com under the shop menu item. And we've got some great things up there, including apparel, golf shirts, t-shirts, hats, Ripple Connection cards. The new virtual Ripple coaching program is available, and other surprises will be going up there very, very soon. Hey guys, Steve Harper with the Ripple Effect, and I want to talk to you today about something I think that could be working against you. And it's really one of these things that kind of bothers me because I see it happening in corporate America all the time. It happens at my own company, my software venture. People's inability or lack of assertiveness to go find solutions to the problems that they face on the job. We all look for the quick hit, trying to get the answer from somebody else so that we can move on and get on to the next thing. And what I recognize in a lot of instances is people's lack of ability to address problems is why a lot of these problems in our jobs and our work exist. We're not looking for the root cause. We're not looking for how to avoid that problem arising again. We're just looking for a quick and dirty solution so we can move on. Now, for the sake of productivity, I truly understand this because it's important for us to be as efficient and as productive as we possibly can at work. So why not just solve the problem as quickly as you possibly can and move on? And if those answers reside in somebody else's brain or they have that experience, why not tap them so that you can get it done? How do you think they got the answers? How do you think they got the experience? They likely went in and dove in and solved this problem previously. And if it's one of those things that comes up periodically, no big deal. But if it's something that comes up a lot, and it's something that is working against you or working against your team, doesn't it make sense to try and figure out how to solve that problem permanently? Or leverage maybe that input that you get from somebody else rather than for the quick answer to solve the problem. Actually use that answer to say, what can we do to solve this going forward so we don't ever have to deal with it again? Now, I recognize that is a bit of a foreign concept for some people because we often, we are attention deficit creatures. We are. I see it all the time. We want to, get this thing off our plate and move it off our plate as quickly as we possibly can. And to be a good, engaged employee, when you see things that are coming up or challenges that are being faced, and don't even have to be an employee. If you're an entrepreneur and you see the same problem coming up in your business over and over again, don't look for the quick answer or the quick solution to solve it, to move it off your plate. Look deeper. Look wider for the solution that you can implement, develop, create, or the root cause of what causes this problem, and try and solve it permanently so you don't ever have to deal with it again. Don't look for the fast answer. Look for the right answer to solve the solution, solve the problem with the right solution. So it's just on my mind because I see a lot of it happening. I was recently contacted by somebody at one of the corporations that I do some training for, and the guy was really struggling with how to interact and engage with one of his bosses. And we were talking about the issue, and he's just looking for a quick fix, a quick solution to address this particular issue that had arisen. And the more questions I asked, the more I realized that he wasn't interested in trying to solve the problem permanently. He was just trying to solve this particular situation that had come up. And I finally just asked him, how long do you plan to work for this guy? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I'm curious. I mean, this role that you're in, you seem like you're interested in just trying to get, this, thing off your plate. But it doesn't sound like this is something that is necessarily something that won't be repeated. And he said, no, absolutely. This is, a situation that has been occurring for a while. I said, so why would you want a quick fix? Why would you want the quick answer, the quick solution, rather than the right solution? And as it turned out, rather than just trying to solve this particular issue where he felt like he had lost a little bit of trust, dropped the ball on a project, and wanted to just have the right words to go kind of explain his point of view and his perspective and sort of give the excuse as to why he dropped the ball to his boss, at the end of the day, what the reality was is that his ability to get that project done was his lack of attention. He needed to own that. But he also didn't have a thorough understanding of what the project was when it was assigned to him. And that was a lack of communication between him and his boss. And as I began to point that out, that really what he needed to do was not go make an excuse for dropping a ball. He definitely needed to apologize for that, but he needed to go have an open and honest and likely lengthy conversation with his boss to explain why he probably didn't put the necessary priority on it, how he would do things differently going forward, but ultimately why he felt a little bit disconnected from the project because he didn't fully understand, and that he needed to own. And he needed to explain that when there were questions and when there was gray area, he needed to be able to have the open and honest conversation with him, the boss, to make sure that there was no nebulous, no ambiguity of plan or approach, so that he could make sure that he got it done. And he was very, very hesitant, you could tell, because he didn't really want to do that. He just wanted to find the right words to apologize for dropping the ball. And I asked him, if he were to drop another ball, what do you think your boss's confidence would be in you? And he said, well, not very high. So what do you think the confidence will be when you come in and you own the fact that you dropped the ball? You want to do everything in your power to make sure you don't do it again. And you want to have a conversation with him to explain what needs to change in order to maximize the value you can deliver for him. How do you think he would perceive that? And he thought about it for a second and he's like, you're right. He said, I think he would look at me as a different type of professional. He would be impressed. And I said, exactly, because you're not doing the quick fix or the quick apology. You're diving in, owning the situation, but saying, how can we learn from this situation so that we can improve and get better next time? And that relationship will grow and expand because you do it. He called me 2 days after we had that initial phone conversation and he said, oh my God, that was the greatest advice you could have given me. My boss said, look, I've been meaning to have this conversation with you. I've been struggling to try and find the right words. You made it easy for me to have this conversation because these are the things I've been thinking about as well. So I realized that I didn't give you clear direction on the project. I didn't really tell you exactly what the outcome was, so I can understand in the list of priorities that you had why this one didn't hold any higher priority than the others, because I didn't necessarily communicate that to you, and you didn't necessarily have all of the right odds to tackle this project for me because you didn't have a clear and concise understanding of what was being asked of you. He said you could tell instantly that the appreciation that was shown by his boss about the fact that he was owning it, but that he didn't want to screw up again, he just instantly felt their relationship change. So he was calling to thank me. Don't look for the quick answer, look for the right answer. Solve the problem today so you don't have to deal with the problem again tomorrow. Don't give in to an easy path when there is maybe a more moderately difficult path to go down, but it ultimately will solve the problem forever. So something that's been on my mind, something that I think can serve each and every one of you in your career, in your communication, in the approach that you have out there in the world. And you know what? Along the way, when you do it, you're going to create some positive ripples for the people that are paying attention to you and following you, leading you, or working for you. So that is my take. I hope it helps. Until next time, ripple on.